topic. Thanks to our chairman. As a surgeon, you need, when you're doing surgery, you need your own comforts, you need your own place, you need your own gadgets, everything. That is possible when you're doing it in a big setup, in an urban or in a corporate setup. But when you do, as you all know, that 70% of our population is rural population. And when you cater health services for this, especially as a surgeon, when you do surgeries in rural area, it's so difficult to arrange all these things. And we are very happy to have one of our 12 speakers today who will tell you what are the difficulties they have faced and how they have come over with that. And they are successfully doing surgeries in rural area. That's why this innovative topic has been selected. And this whole session will be moderated by Basvesh Patil from Gulbarga and Dr. Shuprakash from Bhadravati. And I request our chairman, Dr. H.V. Shivaram sir, to welcome all of you. Shivaram,
Hello.
sir. Hello. Hello.
I think Shivaram sir is.
Yeah. Probably he was suggesting that he is at relatives' home. No, I think we can continue.
Okay. So, behalf of our chairman, I welcome all the members of KCSI, and we have our national president, Dr. Abhay Delvi sir, also from Bombay. I welcome each and everyone for this webinar, and I'll request Dr. Shuprakash, moderator, to take over from here. Dr. Shuprakash.
I would like to welcome Dr. Dayanand Nuli sir from Chikkodi to give the introduction to the rural surgeons for the rural surgery, how they are going to set up, because he is one of the premium and most experienced rural surgeon who is doing very well in northern part of the Karnataka. Dayanand Nuli sir.
Sir, just allow me to share my screen, sir, please.
Sir, it's on the screen.
No, I want me to share the screen so that I can finish fast.
Yeah, you can do it, sir.
You can do it, sir.
Yeah. Are you able to see my screen, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Sir.
Yeah. I am a rural surgeon practicing in Chikkodi for the past 30 years. This is my hospital. So the preamble constitution, what the WHO has said is the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health is one of the fundamental rights of every human without distinction of race, religion, political belief, economic or social condition. We're saying with that, how do we define? We define rural surgery as a subspecialty defined on the basis of geography, smaller populations, limited technological resources, and limited contact with other specialists. It's a subject that always is discussed with a sympathetic in all the programs, but about which little data is available and about which very little is done. I'm very happy that our association has taken up this topic today. He is a successful general surgeon practicing at least for 5 years in a place far away from the support of a well-developed medical centers, college, or any teaching institution. Buduwadia, a noted teacher of ours, always used to tell the pragmatic progress in surgery in developing world, one must adhere to the concept of the 5 A's: available, affordable, it should be accessible, it should be acceptable, and it should be more appropriate. We will be astonished to know that the GDP 0.9% only is given to the health expenditure in our country, whereas 60 to 70% of the population live in villages. So we have certain issues here. What is rural and what are the workforces issues, rural surgery practice, training the rural surgeon, measuring quality in rural surgery, and importance of rural surgery to local healthcare system and economy. What is rural? It depends on population, overall development of the area, and healthcare amenities. There is a definite, we should agree that decline in the supply of general surgeons in the rural areas. The potential number of future rural surgeons may be further limited unless some strategies, some measures have to be taken to increase their presence in the rural setting urgently. If you look at my own district, we have so many surgeons in only certain taluka places, but certain taluka places, they don't have even single surgeon. Our practices also have a diverse case mix. We have a professional isolation, frequent call coverage, and we do have lifestyle concern compared to our urban surgeons. So we are really general intrusions, how we do cystolithotomy to tonsillectomy, cesarean section, in emergency situations, hysterectomy to sometimes fracture fixation, from lap cholecystectomy to simple abscess drainage. So rural surgeon has to be conversant with even medical conditions, malaria, tuberculosis, and snake bites as well. So we do have a isolation expression itself, not in terms of input, it will be available on the net now, but they lack an opportunity to confide and discuss professional problems and issues with associates working under similar conditions. Frequent call coverage is there for rural surgeons in the middle of the surgery. Most of the time, cesarean section for its complication. Sometimes in the absence of anesthetist to give a spinal anesthesia. Reference by a village doctor after complications, especially after uterine perforation, etc. We do have a trailing spout syndrome. Those who have obtained a high skill level or different high degree of education may be reluctant to settle in rural area. Concern about the educated and cultural opportunities in rural areas are also there. The education of the children is one more big problem settling in rural areas. Rural surgeons perform subspecialty procedures usually considered outside the realm of typical general surgeon. In addition, we do laparoscopic surgery, GI endoscopy procedures, urological procedures, etc. What we decided we must grow our own. In our association, rural surgeons are given utmost respect, and we have a separate quota for in EC coverage also and in chairmanship post also. We are respected. That's why our active participation in surgical conferences, in CME programs, workshops, we are always invited and we are always given the opportunity to participate and talk and narrate our problems also. Presentations of our works in conferences under the guidance of medical teachers like Dr. Lakshman, Dr. Rajan, and so many people are always there to help us. Maintaining hospital data is not a big problem now because we have a hospital software. We do have a publishing work in index journals and we have published many articles also. So many papers I presented from 1992 and all my colleagues have supported. Literally, I have presented nearly some 30 papers in all these conferences of our Karnataka state chapter. And last year in this February, I gave a prestigious HS Bhatt oration about clinical communication skills in our chapter. The rural surgeons perform high volume of procedures. It's not that we have a OT list on this day, that day. Daily we do surgeries, about 55% of our practices. Understanding rural surgeons' caseload will help guide the training of rural surgeons. Rural surgeons, after the training of evidence-based medicine by our own chapter, EBM evidence is somewhat useful, but not very important in clinical decision making, but we do practice that. While rural surgeons are relatively confident in most sources listed, they are most confident in their own judgment and clinical programs. They feel confident in telephone contact with their own colleagues. Rural surgeons provide vital surgical backup for other physicians in specialty areas such as obstetrics, critical care and emergency services, including trauma. A general surgeon provides great financial value to a rural hospital and community. But unfortunately, of course, even urban colleagues also face the same problems, legal limitations, technical, professional, and legal limitations for rural surgeons. All these rules and regulations, both of us are facing, urban as well as rural. I don't want to narrate all the laws. So only our request is that judiciary needs to wake up to the reality of rural India and pass legislation to help, not to hinder healthcare for the poor, accepting that some care is better than no care at all in rural areas. So prospective aspects are tremendous personal and professional satisfaction is there when you are practicing in rural areas. We do have a financial security and its implications. We have a special status in society. Society recognizes us, call for all the functions. They make us guests and they shower a lot of their blessings, respect, love on us. And they give us social responsibilities also. The landscape of rural healthcare will no doubt continue to change and become more impressive in the coming years. We conduct many lectures, health camps, and we have a some of our own, like BN Patil. We have our own some groups wherein we felicitate needy people and the laureate people also. So what we get in turn, not only money, we get a token of love and perfection. Every patient brings so many things, whatever grows in his field. Sometimes they call us to the birthday parties, marriage parties, like some huts and homes in their fields. We started at the national board examination for rural surgery, but how much it is successful, I don't know. How many students have joined for this DNB program in rural surgery? That also data is not available. Not many students are attracted for this. With that, I end up my talk. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you,
That is
Dr.
very
Nuli,
well.
sir. Yeah, continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nuli, sir. You have tremendous experience in rural surgery. It was a feast for us. You have excellent knowledge of covering all surgeries in rural area. Thank you, sir. Next, rural surgery is true surgery by Dr. R.D. Prabhu. Sir, please welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Before the talk, I wish to compliment our chapter and of course the chairman, Dr. Shivram, for continued support of the rural surgeons all these 40 years. That's fantastic. I hope you keep it up. Next slide, please. What is rural surgery really? Now, we keep on saying that it's a general surgery, but is it really general surgery only? No, it involves a lot more in general surgery and many more non-surgical challenges. That is why Southeast Asia Director of WHO, Mr. Ghazeri, declared in 1992 that it must be considered as specialty. Recently, in BMJ, Alan Grant said that skill mix needed for rural surgery makes it a unique specialty. Yes, a unique specialty, a specialty. The skills he is talking about are the essential skills selected by the disease control priorities of United Nations in 2015. Next slide. Now, what are these essential skills? There are 44 in all. And they have found that these 44 surgical skills address the main needs, are cost-effective, and are feasible. The list is overwhelming. Detailed list is very long. I can send the detailed list to anyone interested by email or WhatsApp. They start with dentistry. There are 3 skills. We never talk about this. Extraction, dental abscess, caries. Obstetric gynecology is very important because pregnancy-related reasons are a major cause of death in women. 10 skills are taken: DNC, caesarean section, hysterectomy, ectopic, vasectomy, tubectomy, even vesico-vaginal fistula. General surgery are 10 skills, which I think most of you are aware of, plus some urology and minimal access surgery. Trauma has given a lot of importance because 5 million people die worldwide every year. So 13 skills are included: basic life support, chest drain, bone traction, burr hole, tracheal intubation, skin graft, closed open fractures, trauma laparatory, even amputations. Then come the congenital anomalies: cleft lip, shunt for the hydrocephalus, anorectal abnormality, clubfoot. And in ophthalmology, there is cataract operation and trachoma. And in non-trauma orthopedics, there are 2 skills: osteomyelitis and drainage of septic arthritis. Now, I wonder how many of you are familiar with these skills. Honestly, I've been humbled by the list, and I find that I have only 32 out of this 44. However, I feel we in Karnataka need to revisit this list. Repair of vesico-general fistula, shunt for hydrocephalus, and cataract surgery may be exploded, and local anesthesia, nerve block, regional anesthesia techniques may be added. Every surgeon needs to check out how many skills he has and try to learn those that one does not have. More the skills, better the rural surgeon. Next, please. Next slide here. I have heard often and have experienced personally that a proper training to learn all these skills and also to take on all other challenges could make one a better rural surgeon. Now, who could do that is a big question. We have to search ourselves and find out. That is why, even in developed countries, they have a training and educating program for rural surgeons. In UK, Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh has a booklet on standards for rural surgery. Scottish hospitals, I am told, have a remote and rural surgery training program of 1 to 2 years. In USA, there are 11 programs, but we have none. Attempts by Rural Surgeons Association for CRS, certificate in rural surgery by Indira Gandhi National Open University, that failed miserably because there was vehement objection from medical colleges. The CRS, just the DNB, just Dr. Nooli referred to, started by Shyama Prasad. I was there. But again, that too failed because medical colleges do not think they want it. They think it is below the standards that they have. I believe that professors of medical colleges should wake up to the needs of the country and take up one of these programs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Senior most surgeon from Shimoga, is Pitama of surgery in Shimoga, Jackie Nall. He has covered almost all super specialty and specialty, dental to medical, and scalp to pulp, nail pulp. I think you have covered all surgeries in your life. Thank you, sir.
Most of them, not all.
Yes, sir.
Do give me some humility. No, only
Yes, sir.
32 of those 44, yes.
You have a big list.
Now we'll call upon Dr. Rohini Kulkarni Madam from Chikkodi, who wants to tell us about challenges faced by the lady surgeon in the rural surgery. We have two lady surgeons, that is Dr. Rohini Madam and Dr. Naz Madam, who are going to enlighten about this. But now we'll call on Rohini Madam. Rohini Madam, please.
Yeah, good evening, you sir. Can I use my PowerPoint?
Yeah, sure, madam.
Can the screen is
Yeah, you
Hello?
can share your screen, madam. You can share your screen.
now? Can you see my screen, sir?
No.
Martin, can
Hello?
you hear me?
It is not shared.
Martin,
No, you have to press that share button, madam. Share content.
Martin,
Okay.
Martin,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Martin, can you hear me?
Yes, your voice is clear.
Now can you
Okay.
see the hello?
Yeah, madam.
Can you see
Yeah,
my
madam.
screen?
We have got the
Yes.
screen.
Hello.
We have
We
got
can
your
see.
screen, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go to full screen, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you see now my screen?
Yeah,
Yes.
ma'am, it's clear.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Rohini Kulkarni. I'm a general surgeon practicing in Chikkodi. For introduction, I came here in 32 years back. Landed up here not only because of my destiny, but also my passion to the surgery, which gave me a purpose and strength to lead successfully through all these odds. 32 years, I was the only lady surgeon, and no concept of consultation. Only general practice was there. So these are the challenges we, as a lady surgeon, we face in the rural area. First is surgical challenges. Male patients never used to consult us as a lady doctor. The PR examination for a male patient for prostate or anal pathologies was very difficult. there is a less trust on the lady doctor and also as a woman. Obstetric gynec practice was also a problem because we never undergo obstetric gynec training in our tenure. I never do obstetric gynec practice, but I do gynec practice because I want to establish myself as a lady doctor in the rural area. Anesthesia was also a problem. No anesthetic was available. So we had to do under local or spinal anesthesia and sometimes open ether anesthesia as a general anesthesia. When in difficulty, there was nobody to help, but this book, which is there, I have shown you, that helped me in my difficulty. So after some time, we added new technologies at endoscopy, cystoscope, and laparoscope. When we are in the rural area, hospital setup is a big challenge because we have a small area. As a rented, we have to adjust as per the area. After the construction, we can construct as per our needs. A staff is always uneducated and untrained. We have to train them for OT equipments, newer technologies, OT preparations, how to fit a beam, auspices, pads, patient care, pre-op, intra-op, and post-op. And we have to put a lab and ultrasound because to complete the basic investigation pre-operatively. As a surgeon, one needs to socialize and attend social functions for growth. A lady surgeon, people and general practitioners in rural area are not ready to talk directly to us because they are mainly hesitant, and this affects lady doctor career. But we prefer the publicity from through patients, and it took little more time, but definitely works. In rural area, we are not initially we are not intimidated for the conferences and meetings. Preparing slides, papers was very difficult, but now with the technology, we can do all these things. We get an intimation for the conferences, and we can prepare papers and present when it is possible. We can update ourselves for newer things in surgery. When we establish the hospital, we need lot many certificates from the local bodies and state certificates. When we earn the money with our practice, we keep account taxations, investment, and tracking of our investments. In rural area, we don't get people to do this. We have to learn for ourselves. Now there are so many apps, we can learn the basics of accounting, taxations, and investment. As a lady doctor, we have to take a time at least once a weekly and know where we stand and what is our investments. When in rural area, we can't keep away ourselves from the political eye. We come under the radar immediately. One can't ignore and continue ignore the politics and continue the practice. If anybody is interested, one can go and join the politics. I was the counselor for that, and I have experience. We as a woman surgeon or lady surgeon, we are so many roles to play. And in the rural area, we can't deny these responsibilities. At the same time, we have to give justice to our patients. I learned to give importance to the relationship with my surgery and with my patients. I learned to change the gear according to the want of the particular situation and the relationships. Sometimes we have to change the timing of OT for the successful relationship. I learned when interpersonal relationship is good, we are in good state of mind and take a proper decision for our patients. So how to cope up with these personal challenges? We have to be fit. We have to take one task, win, and then next. Have to be confident. Choose a way to be a successful and march on it. Keep yourself updated in all fields. You can be a multitasker also. You can track your activities, prioritize yourself, and have your time, have a hobby. Whenever you need it, you seek the advice from the seniors. You can't compete, you have to compete with yourself. You can't compete with your fellow men because they have empty roads ahead. But we have lot many obstacles when you are there. So when chasing your dreams, you have to achieve what you want, and don't forget that you have family and your kids too. Thank you.
Oh, it was nice sharing, madam. Interesting opening.
Thank you.
And, so I know it is very difficult for lady surgeons in particular situations. When we were undergraduates, we used to see very less lady surgeons. Only few. Geeta Udani was the only surgeon we saw in our UG days. Thank you, madam. It was good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Next, I would like to call Dr. P.B. Niranjan, minimal invasive surgery and maximal invasion into rural setup. Welcome, Dr. P.V. Narendran from Shimoga.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸರ್ 2 ದಿನ ಜ್ವರ ಇತ್ತು, ಇವತ್ತು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗದಾಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ನೀರೊಳಗಿರ್ದು ಬೆಮರ್ತ ನೂರಾಗ ಪತಾಕಂ ತರ ಫೀವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು ಹೆಂಗೋ ಬೆವ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೆಂಗೋ ಎದ್ದು ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಬಿಲ್ಡಪ್ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಫೀವರ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತು ಏರಿಳಿತ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೆಮ್ಮು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ನಾನು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ PG ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ಒಂದ್ 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೆ. 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಏನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ ಬಂದು ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಟಾಪ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, IAS, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಹೊರಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಎಂತ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್, ಇವನು ಕ್ರೇಜ್, ಇವನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ತುಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓಡ್ತಾವನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವನೇ ನಮ್ ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ನಾನು ಅದೇ ತರ ಜೋಶಲ್ಲಿ ಆಟೋಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಸುದೀಪ್ ತರ ಇದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ನನ್ ಕಡೆ ಇದರ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗಗೂ ಸೈಕಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಜನ ನನ್ನ ಆಟೋಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಸುದೀಪ್ ತರ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾಗರಹಾವು, ಜಲೀಲಾ, ಬುಲ್ಬುಲ್ ಆ ತರ ನೋಡಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತೀರಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಕೋಲಿಸಿಸ್ಟೆಕ್ಟಮಿ ಇತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಈ ತರ ಹೀರೋ ತರ ಸೈಕಲ್ ತೊಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದು, ಹೀರೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ ಮನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೀರೋ ಬಂದು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಕಿದೆ, ಸೈಡ್ಗೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಸ್ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಕೋಲಿಸಿಸ್ಟೆಕ್ಟಮಿ ಬೇಕಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಆಯ್ತು, ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಷನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಕೋಲಿಸಿಸ್ಟೆಕ್ಟಮಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 45,000 ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಕೊಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆ 45,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ EMI ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಾದ್ರೂ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಇವ್ರು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಓಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಯಾಕೋ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ನನ್ ದೇಹನ ಇವ್ರ ಕೈಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನನ್ ಬದುಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ. ನನಗೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಶೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನು. ಎಂತ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇವ್ರನ್ನ? ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಜನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಸರ್ ನೀವೇ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? OT ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಫೋಟೋ ಹಾಕ್ತಂತೀರಾ ಏನು ಅಂತ. ನನ್ಗೇನ್ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕಾಲದಿಂದನೂ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹೊಸದಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾರಿಗಪ್ಪ ಇತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಮುಂಚೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಯಾರಿಗಿತ್ತು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಕೃಷ್ಣಂಗಿತ್ತು. ಕೃಷ್ಣ SM ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಭಗವಾನ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಂಗಿತ್ತು. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನಕದಾಸರು ಬಂದು, ನೋಡ್ಗುರು ನೀನ್ ತಿರುಗಿದ್ರೆ ದೇವ್ರು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೇ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಸರಿನಾ? ಮತ್ ನಾನು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ಲೆಕ್ಕ? ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು OT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಿಂಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಸೇಮ್ ಉಡುಪಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ್ ಪೋಸಾ? ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನಮ್ಮರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದೇ ಪೋಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕಿಂಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಸ್ತೀನಿ, ನೋಡ್ರಿ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಅವ್ರು ಕರಿತೀನಿ, ಕರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿನೂ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು, ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದ್ 2 ಐಸೋಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಒಂದು ಸೂಡೋಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅನ್ನೋ ಜೋಶ್. ಸೊ ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದವ್ರಿಗೆ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ಕೈಯಲ್ಲೇ ಸೂಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಯರ್ ಲೇಯರ್, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 10 ವೈಕ್ರಿಲ್ ಸೂಡೋಸಿಸ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಯರ್ ವಾಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಅಗೈನ್ ನನ್ಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಅದೇ ತರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. ನಾನು ಅರ್ನಿಯಾದವ್ನು ಬಂದ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಟೆಪ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡು ಈ ಟೆಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸೂಚರ್ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ ಸೂಚರ್ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಿರಲ್ಲ, ರಿಕರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅಂದ. ನಾನು ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೊತ್ತು ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು, ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ರಿಕರೆನ್ಸ್ ರೇಟು, ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಕತೆ. ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಒಂದ್ ವಾರ ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋ ಅಂದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್? ಹೆಂಗಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ನ್ಯೂನ ವೆಚ್ಚ ನೋಡುವಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದೇ ತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೀ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನು? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. I think all of us have seen this scene from Prestige by Christopher Nolan. Idrinalli rural surgeons are like this. We don't want any validation because we don't have any validation. We just go to ourselves and we are happy in our own world. Next slide. So rural surgery ಏನು ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ? So definitely it has given everything to me. I have done 500 major surgeries in 2 years. That could have not possible in any area. Next slide.
8 minutes.
My family, actually OT brothers sisters are really my brothers and sisters. With their help I could achieve something. I think rural surgery has given me everything, name, fame ellanu kottide. So I'm very fortunate to work in this rural area and I'm very happy for this opportunity. Thank you. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್.
ನಿರಂಜನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು, ತಮಾಷೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ವಿಷಯಗಳಿದೆ. ಕಂಗ್ರಾಚುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ
ಐನೂರು ಸರ್ಜರಿ 2 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ನಂಬರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
So next challenges of getting anesthetist by Dr. Uday Prabhu. Dr. Uday?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Yeah.
Please put up my slides, sir. Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Uday Prabhu. I'm a laparoscopic surgeon practicing in rural area called Kalsa in Chikmagalur. I'm here before you today to discuss a critical topic that affects rural general surgeons like ourselves: the challenges we face due to the lack of anesthesiologists. As dedicated healthcare professionals serving rural communities, we encounter unique hurdles that require us to adapt and find innovative solutions. The scarcity of anesthesiologists is undoubtedly one such challenge that affects our surgical practice. Anesthesia plays a pivotal role in surgery, ensuring patient comfort, safety, and optimal surgical conditions. Without the presence of an anesthesiologist, we are compelled to take on additional responsibilities and find alternative approaches to deliver the necessary anesthesia care. Let us delve into the challenges we face and explore potential strategies to overcome them. Next slide, sir. So firstly, it is the increased workload and expanded scope of practice. In the absence of an anesthesiologist, like Madam was saying, they tried ether anesthesia, local, spinal by giving themselves. These things are reality for us. So in rural general surgeons are burdened with the added responsibility of providing anesthesia services. This increased workload can be physically and mentally demanding, affecting our ability to focus on surgical procedures. Expanding our scope of practice to include anesthesia further challenges us to acquire the necessary knowledge and skills. So the part of medical legal aspects involved in it should be discussed in a separate place, but I think right now we are just going with the flow. So next slide, sir. So limited access to advanced techniques and resources. Anesthesiologists possess specialized training and expertise in advanced anesthesia techniques, pain management, and critical care. In rural areas where resources and medical facilities may be limited, accessing these advanced techniques becomes a significant challenge. We must adapt and rely on our training, available resources, and collaboration with other healthcare professionals to ensure the best possible outcomes for our patients. Next slide, sir. So in case of high risk and patient safety concerns, anesthesia administration requires careful monitoring, precise drug dosages, and prompt management of complications that may arise. Without an anesthesiologist, the responsibility of maintaining patient safety during surgery falls squarely on our shoulders. Managing potential complications such as adverse reactions to anesthesia or emergency airway management can be daunting. It is essential for us to continually update our knowledge and skills to mitigate risks and provide optimal patient care. Next slide, sir. Emergency situation and time-sensitive procedures. In rural settings, emergencies requiring urgent surgery can occur without warning. Time is of the essence here, and the lack of an available anesthesiologist can delay surgical interventions. We must be prepared to handle such situations independently, relying on our training, experience, and support of the healthcare team. Establishing clear protocols for emergency cases and ensuring effective communication with the healthcare network is crucial for timely and efficient care. But most of the time in reality, what we face is we have to refer even simple cases to higher center because of lack of anesthesiologists in emergency settings. So this is the ground reality. So next case. So lastly, it is the professional isolation and limited collaboration. This is like previously doctor was saying, we don't need validation. That is one aspect of talking about it, but we need to actually have some kind of collaboration in the society. Otherwise we will become kind of introvert and will be considered that. So working in rural areas often means being physically distant from other healthcare professionals and specialized medical centers. This isolation can restrict opportunities for collaboration, consultation, and professional development. As rural general surgeons, we must actively seek ways to bridge the gap through telemedicine, virtual consultations, and participation in regional and national surgical conferences. These efforts can foster professional growth and enable us to stay updated with advancements in anesthesia practices. Despite these challenges, we must remember that rural general surgeons play a vital role in providing essential surgical care to our communities. By acknowledging the limitations we face, we can actively seek solutions and implement strategies to overcome them. It is crucial to advocate for increased resources, improved access to anesthesia training programs, and policies that address the unique healthcare needs of rural areas. The lack of anesthesiologists poses significant challenges for rural general surgeons. By expanding our scope of practice, enhancing our knowledge and skills, and fostering
Dr. Uday, your phone is got, your mic is got muted.
So I will tell the conclusion. The lack of anesthesiologists poses significant challenges for rural general surgeons. By expanding our scope of practice, enhancing our knowledge and skills, and fostering collaboration, we can deliver safe and effective anesthesia care. Let us remain resilient, innovative, and dedicated to serving our communities, ensuring that quality surgical care reaches even the most remote corners of our rural areas. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Uday. I consider all surgeons as Arjunas and anesthesiologists as Krishna. Without them, we cannot run our chariot.
Truly.
We have experienced.
Most value we consider anesthetists is in rural areas. Where they are not considered much in the cities, they get the highest value in our setups.
Single anesthetist is also the big problem.
Yes,
So in fact, they are happier in coming to a rural region just for the sake of getting the importance, not for the travel time assets.
Yes. Next week, I'm going to call Dr. Srikanth Saka, my journey into lab surgery at Ilkal. Welcome, sir, Dr. Srikanth.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. And at the outset, thanks to KSASI for giving me this opportunity here. To begin with, my journey as a laparoscopic surgeon at Ilkal. Ilkal is a very small place, just to remind, like any other, so many rural places that we all belong to, like all the speakers belong to. Next slide, please. Yeah. Why did I choose Ilkal to settle? See, I had been out for my UG and PG for a pretty long time, and my even schoolings and other things, college. So I was feeling like homesick, and I just wanted to come back home without even realizing what difficulties I would have now to face as a surgeon when I come back without prior knowledge or somebody to guide me whether I'll have adequate support system back home. Next slide, please. So what did I face when I came back? I realized that there are a lot of lacking of trained assistants. If I wanted to venture into general surgery and get into laparoscopic surgery also, and there is the worst part was like lack of awareness of laparoscopy in the general population, because many of the surgeons and gynecologists who were practicing were all into general surgery, open surgical thing, and very basic laparoscopic work. Next slide, please. So lack of awareness of the equipment and maintenance of equipment by the staff. So it was I had a hell of time to train the assistants how to handle the equipment and all. And then the main question was, what about help in case I get stuck in any of the procedures? So I was searching for any help, and the nearest help would be at least around 60 kilometers from my place. So I had to be very meticulous in doing my surgeries, or I have to plan it very meticulously. Next slide, please. What are the challenges? Like what is the way ahead? If I want to venture into laparoscopy, which was my passion, which has always been my passion, then I had to face so many challenges. How to do safe laparoscopic surgery was one more challenge, and I had to venture or get into something like very safe techniques of doing laparoscopic surgeries. Next slide, please. So other thing was I have to be confident in what I'm going to be doing, what kind of surgeries that I'm going to do in a rural setting, wherein in case I get stuck and there's no help in the near, at least 1 hour, it would take at least 1 hour for a surgeon or nearby help to arrive. And then the way ahead was to meticulously plan the surgery and discussing the procedure with my assistant. I used to show all the videos of whatever procedures I had recorded before, and all the videos that I used to show to my assistant, and then discuss with the assistant the way that he has to show me with the next, anticipate the next step. Okay, so next slide, please. So there were a lot of rehearsal drills and all. This used to be like a mental rehearsal before I started my surgery then. And the key to successful surgery was the slow execution in the initial part. And then once you are experienced and done a few 10 or 15 cases, then that speed would come up with automatically. Next slide, please. The most important part, as Dr. Rohini Madam and other Dr. Niranjan, everybody said that there is a lot of lack of anesthetists, and we had similar situations here. And luckily, we got one of those anesthetists who's working with us since the past 10 years. A confident anesthetist would boost your morale also and your confidence also in doing a safe surgery. Next slide, please. So I began my journey this. Next slide, please. Initially, it was a very difficult scene wherein I had to convince the patient for laparoscopic surgery. They would never agree to a laparoscopic surgery initially, thinking of all the bad things that the other consultant would have told about laparoscopy, and probably to do with the time that they were not aware of laparoscopic advantages of laparoscopic surgery. So all the equipment, do the surgery, clean the equipment, because I could not risk handling all my equipment to somebody who doesn't know anything. The assistant who didn't know anything about laparoscopic handling of the instrument or other things. So next was reviewing the recorded surgeries. I always recorded all my surgeries, and then I reviewed those surgeries, and then wherever I was getting stuck, I used to go to my mentor and then get help from him, and then to tide over those difficult scenarios. Next slide, please. So here was a journey, in 2010, I started doing inguinal hernias in a rural place. It was very much unheard of doing a TEP and in such a small place. And then I did IPOM. Next one. And then since my wife is a gynecologist, we started doing hysterectomies, total laparoscopic hysterectomy, which was unheard of here. And then got trained in USA for advanced laparoscopic and robotic surgery. Laparoscopic radical hysterectomy after I came back, and then laparoscopic tubal recanalization, myomectomy with morcellation. Next one. So we did laparoscopic sacral suspension for uterine prolapse, hysteroscopic uterine septum resections, and we had a live laparoscopic operative workshop in 2016 in a small place, which was first of its kind in North Karnataka, where we had around 120 surgeons and gynecologists who attended this. The next one. And then we did duodenal ulcer perforation, gastrojejunectomies, and one more live laparoscopic workshop, which I conducted in one of my branches, which I had at Bagalkot. That was again attended by around 200 odd surgeons and gynecologists. I did a cystogastrostomy, I have done splenectomies, I have done isthmoseal repair, laparoscopic ureteric reimplantation for ureteric fistulas, and endoscopic thyroidectomy. I have done 2 cases, which was first in the North Karnataka. I've done vesicovaginal fistula repair with bilateral ureteric implantation, and started off lately with laser EVLA. Next one. So recently I've done laparoscopic scola and a CA rectum LAR. I did recently in association with one of my oncosurgeon friend. The next one, please. So this has been my journey, like so far since the past 10-12 years. The next one. So the take-home message for young surgeons starting laparoscopic practice in rural areas is you have to be, you have to be well trained. You have to be confident. You have to build a team. That is the core. Actually, that is the most important thing, that you have to have a team, because laparoscopy is not going to be a one-man show where you just tell the assistant to just pull things and no, you have an assistant who has to show you what you are supposed to know. See, and you have to start slow. That is the key again, because if you are in a hurry initially, then you may land up in a problem which will actually, shatter your confidence in doing laparoscopic surgery, which I see in most of my colleagues, even in a bigger place or in rural areas. So patient selection again is one of those important things. You have to have a very ideal patient for a surgery to start with. So, and the thing is, you have to execute it meticulously also. That is going to be the key for a success. If you have complications in your initial phase, then you will not at all dare to do any laparoscopic surgery in rural areas, with all the the lack of facilities that you have and lack of help from your colleagues that you'll have here. So this is all that you have to be doing as a rural surgeon who's going to practice laparoscopy in the rural area. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Srikanth. Your journey is wonderful and it is motivational for young surgeons. Really, we enjoyed the talk. Congratulations, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next.
We'd like to call Dr. Naz Sheikh Madam for work-life balance. Naz Madam. Naz Madam.
Madam?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank KCSI for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Just a second. Being a rural surgeon was initially a compulsion and later became a passion for me. And I have put my soul into it to be one of the best rural surgeons in my community. And looking back into the 30 years of my practice, what gives me more satisfaction is having performed laparoscopy family planning sterilization camps. And I undertook this to see that no woman went back without surgery, which used to happen very frequently due to cancellation of the camps. And in one instance, I had to perform the 200 cases in two different places, that is 100 in each place. This happened due to some communication gap. And we performed all of them without a single complication. And the second was the need to learn ultrasound. And it was like becoming an Ekalavya. We had to get the machine. We did not have proper teachers. And slowly we started performing ultrasound on our patients, and they were our teachers. And having done this, I feel humbled and honored today to be under the umbrella of the blessings of all my patients. And during this time, I feel I have fairly managed work and life. I have balanced them properly and fairly.
Dr. Naz,
Yes.
Dr. Naz, your
Yes.
slides are not moving.
No, I'll start now.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Okay. Now coming to the topic, that is work-life balance. It is a state of equilibrium where a person equally prioritizes between the demands of his or her career and personal life. वर्क और लाइफ को समझने के पहले उम्र पैरों तले फिसल गई। कम वक्त ही ऐसा है जब सब साथ है तो वक्त नहीं, और जब थोड़ा मुट्ठी में संभाला है तो सब आंखों से ओझल हो गए। That is to say that when we have people around us, we don't have time, and when we have time, we find that a lot of people around us have already left. And there is no such thing as work-life balance. It is all life, and the balance has to be within us. Now, why so much of hype about this? Can work and life be different? Career versus rest of the life, what to choose and when to change? And is retirement a compulsion, and what are the alternatives? My point of view is from a working woman, a rural perspective, a rural doctor surgeon, and a woman rural surgeon. The gender-based challenges faced, I agree with Dr. Rohini, and she has covered most of them. Like all working women, the problem is real. And as a woman surgeon, we are first a lady doctor, and we are referred only for bottom cases and breast problem initially. But then we should be doing the best of this, because we should not let them land in the hand of quacks. And we do not have strict timings, and family is a big support in all of these during these situations, and most of them become half doctors. And late hours affects the children's education, and children do not get good schools. So we have to put them in hostels and keep frequenting between hostels and our hospital premises. Maid dependence and caretakers for children is again a big problem. We have to have a second line always ready so that our work is not affected. Now, as we traverse through this prism of life, in one lifetime, we have so much to do. Can we handle it all? And in this spectrum, we find that most of our time is spent in family and making a career or a profession, and our hobbies take a backseat. So it is important that we give certain time to this so that we feel our lives are complete. Remember that the time is ticking, and before we realize, our knees start creaking and our eyes start blurring. Earning is not the sole purpose of our lives. Decide early when you want to limit or change and set your priorities. Divide your time for work, friends, hobbies, and exercise, and so on. And work is like that rubber ball, and if you drop it, it is going to come back. And it is bounce back. But all others are made up of glass, and if you do not handle them carefully, they are going to shatter. Now, time is the most costly commodity. Do not get work to home. Strictly avoid discussing work when family is around. Quality time is what our children and family need. Keep a gadget-free time for all. Discuss friends, travel, opportunities, matches, politics, and so on. Allot certain time to respond to mails and phone calls, and when you respond to phone calls, take the urgent ones only when you're at home. And when you have to leave, like you're leaving your premises and something comes by, the times have changed now. There are people around you, there are alternatives. So you please hand it over to somebody, your junior or your colleague, and then come by, because that is the little time what you're giving to your family. Decentralize, especially this is very important because it reduces a lot of your burden. And be strict with the appointments, and especially do not stay too long and show the people that you're available for too long. So then the patients will start coming in too late, and then you have to spend a lot of time in the hospitals. And we all want to live long, yet not grow old. Is this possible? Now, looking at this, when you grow old, what all comes with growing old is retirement, reduced physical activity, reduced memory, reduced hearing, increased dependence, and there is no purpose to live, no enthusiasm about the surrounding, and the comorbidities start creeping in. Now, there is this word called ikigai, which is very, very commonly spoken of nowadays. And there is a book on this which suggests the Japanese way to happiness and long life. There is a place called Ogimi in the Okinawa province of Japan, where there are the maximum number of centenarians. The best part is all of them are healthy, all of them are active, and all of them are still working. And their secrets are: don't retire, and adapt a slower pace, eat only 80% full, surround yourself with good friends, do a gentle exercise every day, smile and acknowledge people around, reconnect with nature, and give thanks for everything that brightens your day. Live in the moment and know your ikigai. Ikigai is the word, once again I would tell, is that it is a reason for you to spring up from bed every day. So you have a reason every day to spring up from bed, and then that day would pass very, very fairly well. Now, plan today and plan now. Financial freedom, if you develop early, that is good. That is, you should try to find an alternate source of income. Go back to your bucket list. If you have not learned swimming, learn it now. Start cycling, trekking, traveling. These are all waiting for you. Learn some musical instruments, music, singing, painting and drawings, photography, literature, content creation, meditation and spirituality especially are very important, and they help you to stay grounded and will give you a lot of peace of mind. And the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Now, many a times we find that there is nobody to give us that push. And it is very important that you give the push yourself and move ahead. And don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. So set your priorities and balance your life. Thank you, one and all. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, madam, for valuable information, especially regarding Ikigai.
Yes, thank you.
And once again, hats off to you for completing 200 surgeries in a single day of laparoscopic sterilization. But lady surgeons, the difference is, lady surgeons, men's after big surgery go and relax. But lady surgeons, they will have multiple tasks after the surgery. That's what you were telling. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Next, Dr. Ramkrishna, I call upon Dr. Ramkrishna from Brodravati. Is from my place. And cost saving innovations from Dr. Ramkrishna. Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Shubhrakash. I thank ACSI for giving me this opportunity. I thought you have to put an "and" in between. It is cost saving and innovation in rural surgery. This is what. Hello. See, everyone has already told you what is rural surgery. Basically, it is a need-based surgical practice under resource constraints, made affordable and accessible to the community, yet it should be safe. So we come across so many restraints, difficulties, problems, and we make certain inventions or tweak in the surgical practice to save the money. These are all not great or path-breaking innovations. These are small ones, cutting the cost, but not cutting the corners. So you have to maintain the same standard, and the rural surgery should not be inferior to surgery done elsewhere. First, I want to show you two small innovations I had. I usually go to different places with my laparoscopy unit to do mobile laparoscopic surgery there. And in one such incident, I lost the trocar, 5 mm trocar. And next day I had a laparoscopic cholecystectomy at my place. So I was in a fix. There was no time to get it. So the immediately stuck was, this is the needle which comes with the Romavac suction set. I took it to workshop, straightened it, sharpened that one end, and cut it into proper size. And to the other end, we just welded a stainless steel washer. Now the trocar is ready, and I could do surgery with this. I thought of sending it to our Indian Journal of Surgery, which immediately got accepted under innovation, and because it is somewhat cost saving for a rural surgeon. The other one I want to talk about is the port closure cone. We all know it is little difficult to close this epigastric port during laparoscopic cholecystectomy. And what struck me is this cone we use for anal dilatation after hemorrhoidectomy or for anal stricture. It is very easy to make a hole in this. Just heat a thick needle, or maybe dabla we call in Kannada. So pierce it. Heat it. If you heat it and put it there, it makes a hole. Diagonally opposite side, I made one more hole here, and now the cone is ready. How to use it? Just push it into the epigastric port hole, and with the mochi needle loaded with Prolene or nylon or whatever suture material you want, push it through one of these holes. It will pierce the linea alba about 5 to 8 millimeter away from the edge. And we have to hold it here with the grasper, and this needle is withdrawn. Next, we use this port closure needle, push it through the other hole, hold it, grasp the other end of the thread, and pull it out. Now it has come out. Carefully, we can remove this cone. Now both the ends are out. Just we have to tie it in a subcutaneous plane. Like this, there are other measures also. Most of the surgeons, they think laparoscopic surgery cannot be done under spinal anesthesia, general anesthesia is a must for all these cases. If a patient is not fit for GA, he is unfit for laparoscopic surgery also. But we rural surgeons, we do most of the surgeries under spinal anesthesia. It's not inferior one. There is enough literature evidence also to say it can be used for almost all laparoscopic surgeries, especially the bottom ones like appendicectomy, hernia, and all. Even this systematic review also says it's not only safe, but also has got several advantages over general anesthesia. These are the advantages. They have not mentioned the cost. Cost is definitely less when compared to general anesthesia. This is how we save a little bit of money also. There are other measures like we use only 2 doses of antibiotics, give very minimal IV fluids as much as required, that's all. And very rarely we use transfusion, starting oral feeding very early, and immediately we shift all the drugs to oral route and remove the cannula next day so that he doesn't require any injections after that. This will save a lot of money. These are not substandard. Even Erasol protocol also nowadays saying all these are well evidence-based. We have been doing it for past 20-25 years. With all this, our medicine bill for a typical major surgery like appendicectomy or hernioplasty, it will be around 1,000 to 1,200 rupees maximum. To make the investment worth and earn more, I have made my laparoscopy unit mobile. I move around 60 to 70 kilometers in and around Bhadravati to other rural area where there is basic operation theater facility. I move with every equipment, and even I take my cameraman also, including carbon dioxide cylinder and everything. My wife is anesthetist, so we move as a team. And for the hospital, they just it will be extending this laparoscopic facility to the other rural areas. And many surgeons, they use this pre-tied loop for securing the appendix. We use the about 10 centimeter autoclaved silk, just push it into the abdominal cavity and secure the appendix base with intraperitoneal knotting. This will save around 500 to 700 rupees because silk doesn't cost much, and that will be saving. And for port closure and all, actually we don't need this needle. And this Trulon or Ethilon, it comes without needle. It is very cheap. And for a 75 centimeter length, it costs hardly 25 rupees. Whereas polypropylene for the same length, if you use, it will be 350 to 400 rupees. So here also, we can save a little money. Like this, there are so many tweaks we do in our surgical practice. I may not be able to mention each and every one of those things, but suffice it to say, I am proud to be a rural surgeon because I would rather be captain of my small boat than a junior officer in a Titanic. Thank you for patiently listening, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. You are an IIT surgeon for Karnataka. Sir, you have tremendous innovations. Thank you very much, sir. Nice to have your session in our webinar, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, B.R. Patil, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Ethics and social services.
Good evening, sir. Sorry, I am traveling to Gadag on the way to Gadag to attend my relative's marriage. I am in a vehicle. Okay. Thank you, KCSI, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this. My topic is ethics and social service. Ethics and social service is two faces of the same coin. Ethics means it should start from our hospital only. It doesn't mean that we should advise somebody else. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳುದು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ತಿನ್ನೋದು ಬದ್ನಿಕಾಯಿ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಲೋಕದ ಡೊಂಕವ ನೀವೇಕೆ ತಿದ್ದುವಿರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನವ ಸಂತೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ತನುವ ಸಂತೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೆರೆ ಮನೆಯವರ ದುಃಖಕ್ಕೆ ಅಳುವವರು ಮೆಚ್ಚನ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ. What is ethics means? Ethical practice is not doing unnecessary surgery, not doing unnecessary investigations, not doing unnecessary medicines to the patient, which is required for the patient. You must investigate whatever is, not expecting any cuts and commission from the diagnosis center, or giving cuts and commission to somebody else to get patients for operations and other things. That should be the attitude of this thing. Our aim is not to earn money. We are here to serve the people. Even by serving at a reasonable price also, we can get enough money. So that I am proud to say I am a rural surgeon. I have got enough earning as well as name, fame, everything. What I am today is because of rural surgery. At the same time, we must do justice to the patient. ethical practice. As a rural surgeon, in a small place, people will observe our day-to-day activities. We should be ethical and doing justice to the rural people. Earning money, that should not be the attitude. And if you can earn, if you earn, your kids are good, they don't require your earning. If they are bad, they don't deserve your earning. As a rural surgeon, hungry stomach, empty pocket, and broken heart will teach so many lessons which no university in the world can teach. And as a rural surgeon, when I started my practice 25 years back in a small place, Taluka place, Sindanur, there were no, we cannot do justice to the patient without doing any evidence-based practice. So that we started even ultrasound, color Doppler, endoscopy, colonoscopy, 25 years back only, a CT scan in my native place to provide better facilities and evidence-based practice. That indication should be, you should not based on ultrasound report. We must do surgery on a clinical correlation basis. My friends used to joke me, indication for a cesarean section, what is that? Presence of pregnancy. Indication for hysterectomy, presence of uterus. That should not be the attitude. Our aim is to serve the people. Along with that, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿನ ಜನರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಡೆಯುವುದೊಂದೇ ಹಾದಿ, ಕುಡಿಯುವುದೊಂದೇ ನೀರು, ಸುಡುವಗ್ನಿಯೊಂದೇ ಇರುತ್ತಿರಲು ಕುಲಗೋತ್ರ ವೆತನದು ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞ. Money can buy books but not knowledge. Money can buy medicines but not health. Money can buy bed but not sleep. Money is not everything. Contentment is better than riches. As a rural surgeon, along with our practice, we must do social service also. For that only we started our own Annadaneshwara Blood Bank, Annadaneshwara Kalyan Mandapa. Those who are needy and not affordable, they can pay how much they want, they can utilize that. Then even major surgery we have done sometimes, all routine surgery. As a rural surgeon, sometimes we have become anesthetist, sometimes obstetrician, gynecologist, and sonologist. In a rural place, there were no radiologists and anesthetists few years back. Now all are available at my place. Along with that, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗ ಉಸಿರಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೆಸರಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಸರು ಸಾಯುವಾಗ ಹೆಸರಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಉಸಿರಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಉಸಿರು ಮತ್ತು ಹೆಸರಿನ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವ ನಿಷ್ಕಲ್ಮಶ, ನಿಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ, ನಿರಪೇಕ್ಷಿತ ಸೇವೆಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಜವಾದ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸೇವೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸತ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ದೇಹ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಪಾಲು, ಆಸ್ತಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಪಾಲು, ಅಸ್ತಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಪಾಲು, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲಗಳೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಕ್ಕೆ, ಆಗಲಿರುವುದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಕ್ಕೆ, ಆಗುತ್ತಲಿರುವುದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಕ್ಕೆ. ರೋಧಿಸಲು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರುವುದಾದರೂ ಏನು, ಕಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ನೀನು ತಂದಿರುವುದಾದರೂ ಏನು. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಇನ್ನಾರದೋ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಇಂದು ನಿನ್ನದಾಗಿದೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಇನ್ನಾರದೋ ಆಗಲಿದೆ. ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಜಗದ ನೇಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸೇವೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಜವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದು ದೇವರ ಸೇವೆ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ದಿವಸ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಗ್ರಾಮೀಣ ಭಾಗದ ಬಡವರ, ದಲಿತರ, ಹಿಂದುಳಿದವರ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಸೇವೆ ನಿರಪೇಕ್ಷಿತ ಸೇವೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಫಾರ್ KCSI for giving me an opportunity to speak few words regarding ethics and social service. Thank you one and all.
ಉಳಿತು ಮಾಡು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಇರೋದು 3 ದಿವಸ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ BN ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಅವರು. ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್. We enjoyed your talk. Ethics and social service. Kinds ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Next, I would like to call Dr. Gajanand Bhatt, Publishing and Presentation. Welcome, sir.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from land of Yana, where the nature's erections are standing tall and straight since billions of years. I am basically a urologist and sexual medicine practitioner from Sirsi. At the outset, let me thank KSCASI for giving me an excellent opportunity to interact with highly skillful brains like you. I am really dumbfounded by the amount of work you people are doing, and many more who are doing, many of which do not come to the limelight just because we fail to showcase them. Friends, let me tell you frankly, I have been to many international conferences and seen many award-winning presentations. The work you have presented today are n number of times better than any award-winning presentations, and I salute all of you and with full heart. The only thing that lacks is showcasing. If we start showcasing them, we will be able to win over the world. That's why I changed the title from publications to presentations to announcing your presence loudly and clearly is what is the title of my heading. So let me make a statement here. Publications and presentations are the means of communicating to the world what you are. And we are supposed to do it with band, baza and barat. Let me take the example here. This is what I am now. I started my career as an MBBS doctor in a PHC as a medical officer. The only intention at the time was earn, earn and earn. In between, I was seeing some local newspaper articles of a nearby surgeon who used to operate on some abdominal masses, and it was the weight of the mass and the size of the mass which had bigger heading than the name of the surgeon. And that's the way to announce your presence locally. What we fail is, we fail to announce our presence nationally, internationally, and globally. Can we do it? Yes, we can. See, I was hesitant to even talk when I was just a medical officer. Then I finished my MS General Surgery at KMC Hubli, and it was my during MCH Urology at Bangalore, where my faculty pushed me to do presentations and publications. And today I have 35 original research publications, 7 of which have won the highest award for sexual dysfunction in both men and women in last 3 years. And being in a rural area, which I am still in, I would not have become member of a global guidelines committee on sexual dysfunction except for these publications and presentations. That's why I say, dear friends, jot down what you think, collect data about it, and tomorrow, you don't know, your idea can change the world and you can become a world leader. So what is the aim of, that's why Hegel said, the desire for recognition, the desire to have the approval, esteem, consideration, or the importance of those around us, whether as individual or members of social groups, has in fact been described as a vital human need, and which all of us, we need to do it. And we should do it. Why? Because to convey our ideas very clearly, to share it with your peers, to change the existing practice that exists, to promote the scientific principles, to stimulate others to think properly, to educate the masses, to enrich the existing knowledge, to enhance the reach to the lowest possible, and advertise your arrival. This is what is needed for publication. That's the aim of the publication. So if at all you have an idea, do a brief literature search, just to know whether the idea that you carry has been published already. Because as a reviewer of many international journals, whenever I get an article for review, I always look into it, what is novelty in it, whether it adds to the present status of knowledge. So do a brief literature search and find out how it deviates from what already existing, and then discuss it with colleagues and form a like thinking group. A group gets more recognition, more chance of publication than a single author. So narrow down to the question to 1 or maximum 2 points. There comes a research question, and you can publish it with adequate data. So how should be your presentation? Make sure that you are sharing relevant, personally appealing, powerfully motivated. Your presentation should be. The points proposed should be thought-provoking and challenging the audience to stretch themselves intellectually and emotionally. Please read these points very clearly and listen to them. I'll tell you why. Deliver the wisdom in a clear and compelling manner. Ensure your audience remember you and your message. This should inspire the audience to not only to think, but for action, for change, even after you finish your presentations. Do you relate it to something very recent? You know what is it? Karnataka elections. Do you remember? There was one propaganda and there was one party who put their ideas so relevantly, and it was personally appealing and powerfully motivating. The points were thought-provoking, and they challenged the audience to stretch themselves intellectually and emotionally. They thought, yes, excellent, wonderful. And the wisdom was delivered in a very clear and compelling manner. And the audience changed the government. That should be the way the presentation. You know, that's how it should be the presentation. Unfortunately, now we have another way of presentation, which what we are doing, what is called as virtual presentation. It's quite difficult to, you know, to prove the same points in virtual presentation similarly as you are doing on a, you know, when you are doing face-to-face presentation, because this is the attention span reduces from 12 minutes to 5 minutes when you are presenting virtually. Why? Because majority of you, I am not telling you now, majority of those people who are there, who are logged in, might be doing all these things. So you have every opportunity of distraction. So that's why it is quite difficult to hold the audience into attention when you are doing presentation virtually. That's what happens. And that's why, you know, more than 1 hour now, it is difficult to hold the audience. And at the end of it, I don't know how many remember it. That's why I say it is your attitude and not your aptitude that determines your altitude finally in your career. Attitude to jot down your idea, attitude to do data search, attitude to collect it with the colleagues, and attitude to publish and present it and announce it loudly and clearly that I am there, I did it, we did it, and we can do it. And we are nowhere lesser than any urban surgeons or physicians, whoever they are. We are the best. That's the way you should be able to communicate, and that can be done. And I have example in front of me. Many are there, and I myself have published so many, and it is possible to publish for everybody. And your work is exemplary and publishable in the best possible journals, and you are wonderful presenters. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
That was an excellent piece of knowledge for all of the young surgeons now who are settling in rural area to project ourselves as a into the community or into the journals right upcoming now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now we would like to call on Dr. Madhusudan sir for political pressures and harassments in rural setups.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Madhusudan sir, again your ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಇವತ್ತು ನೀವು ಇನ್ನು still you are in the OPD sir.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the beauty of the rural surgeon.
Very much, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Eldrigu namaskara. I am Dr. Madhusudan Karnar. I am working as a freelancing surgeon in Sirgupa of Ballari. And this is the topic that is given to me, political pressure and harassment. Next slide, please. Yeah, we the rural surgeons, and the time has told, we have stood up and we have been counted. This is what we are. We are meeting the requirement of a surgeon, obstetrician, gynecologist, physician, and whatnot. Next slide. Yeah, all of us had definitely a humble beginning and hardship. That's what we have witnessed with all the speakers. While there were no reports of direct personal harm to doctors in a rural area, we are not immune to the dangers of local politics of conflict. And we are often exposed firsthand to the incidents of strife. Next slide, please. Yeah, why this is happening? Because public are in a confused state, whether to consider our profession as an industry or as a service. And definitely the time has changed. The off-knowledge information have eroded the concept of doctors know the best. They have changed it now. And definitely technology has advanced, our trust has faltered. Next slide. Yeah, analysis across India indicate that violence and medical personnel have increased despite there were waves of state laws that are passed in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and many other states. But still, such laws have failed clearly, that we are witnessing now. Meanwhile, the boundaries are blurring between the Indian violent political culture and also our blood curtained hospital space. Next slide. Yeah, many times this is the peculiarity of the rural area, where many a times relatives of the people interfere with the emergency treatment of our patients. They want to dictate us what to give, what not to give. They want to enter the OT, the ICU in large numbers, and definitely they have that brain wiring. When a relative suddenly or unexpectedly dies, it is far easier for their brain to blame the doctor, that we are quickly demonized by the society. Next slide, please. Yeah, we are under constant pressure to give special treatment to patients who have connections with politicians, senior government officials, senior doctors and administrators. This is a common scenario. They expect us to have preferential treatment for them. It is common for patients to proffer a note or a referral letter of influential to us. It is common to have politicians demand preferential treatment for certain patients of their own. Many patients will enter our OPD and give their phone to us to answer the calls from VIPs and politicians for favoring them. Next slide. Yeah, this is the burden that we have. We have to resuscitate the patient while also managing the crowd and worrying about the mob psychology. The attacks are often started by the people, at times by their local leader who is unrelated to the patients. The relatives have limited knowledge of the patient's critical illness. Next slide. Yeah, frequently doctors and hospitals are depicted as greedy, egoistic, uncaring, unethical, especially in recent films and media. And these recent mobs are inspired by the scenes like vandalism on hospitals and goons and big people holding the collars of the doctors and threatening them to treatment for bad outcomes. Next slide. And patient had no understanding of the complexities of the hospitals in the rural area and health system. They just wanted to be examined and treated and cured. Patients are equating money spent in rural area to health gain. The more they spend, the more they expect warranty, guarantee, and a fast recovery. They want the best at low cost or no cost. Next slide. And many hold the doctors responsible for their illness, failure to improve, complications. Many patients think doctors are out to loot. Every investigation is with the intention to get more profit out by the patients. Next slide. We doctors are frequently reluctant. Why this is happening is we are reluctant to file FIR because we are wary of getting tangled in time-consuming process or creating more enemies in our locality. Next slide. Previous slide. Yeah, this is happening because, moreover, police often seem unaware of the recently enacted laws, or if they know also, they give sympathy to the patient's relatives rather than to the doctors. Next. And what we are supposed to do? Our house, we have the punishment and stringent laws alone cannot and will not end the game. We have to set our house right first. The current medical environment is definitely complex because of the consumerism, pressure of marketing, poor access to reliable healthcare, lack of interaction between anxious patients and busy doctors, definitely adding to the points. Next. Yeah, let us be ethical, as said by previous slide, please. Previous slide. Yeah, let us be ethical. It is important to be humble. Being doctor doesn't make us a person smarter, wiser, kinder, or in any other way better than others. Unfortunately, many of us don't realize this. We doctors are normal people who have extensive training in diagnosis, treatment of disease. Usually, we work hard with good intentions. We need to spend a lot of time in counseling the patients and society at large. Next. Yeah, this is, I quote, no physicians, however conscious or careful, can tell what day or hour he may not be the object of some undeserved attack, malicious accusation, blackmail, or suit for damages. This is the JAMA 1982, 135 years back. The scenario has not changed. Next slide, please. Yeah, there is no universal strategy that exists to prevent violence, and there is no one simple solution. We need to have multiple strategies. Next slide. Yeah, my story and my experience as a rural surgeon in my place, totally diagonally opposite to the things what have told now. I'll just narrate 2 or 3 incidents, then I'll end my talk. A local newspaper published a report on my hospital regarding KPM registration, as he expected me to take separate permission for opening a lab in my establishment. And that fellow is a very influential person. He is a secretary of Karyanirta Patrakartara Sangha, Rajya secretary he was. Coincidentally, my hospital was closed for 1 week as I was the IMA state president. I was on tour. Our local MLA called me. He came to know that my hospital is closed. He thought it is because of these things. And our local MLA called me and he came personally to my house and supported me and gave strict warning to that reporter. And he finally apologized and came to us. Next. And young boy in our hospital in the early morning, 25-30 years, who was admitted for LRTA treatment. Relatives were reluctant to accept the reality and reluctant to take the body. And patient maternal uncle, who was my beneficiary for his daughter's education, came immediately and calmed the situation and took the body. And he in turn motivated them such a treatment may not be happening anywhere. Next slide. Yeah, newborn baby. This is recently happened. A newborn baby died on 3rd post-LSES day. Baby was seen on a continuous basis and promptly attended by pediatrician. The relatives were very furious on all the doctors and threatened to take physical action on all of us. Even a media people came and started asking all sorts of nonsense questions as if we were the culprits. We were very calm, and the village mullahs of the people who are making noise came to know about the incident, and the family was called to the mosque and warned them not to repeat such actions on any doctors of our place. They called me phonetically to inform them if they do such things in future. Those people were reprimanded. Next slide. And definitely all these things are not just happening that way. Our face value, our ethical, our social actions counts, and that speaks a lot. This is the paper news that were on our achievements. This is happening. Next slide, please. We need to be very media friendly. This is the thing that is happening for the rural sectors. Next slide. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks to KSESA and all the listeners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have actually told us the ground reality, what is happening in rural surgery or even in the urban cities wherein political harassment is happening, not only to rural surgeons, but in general to all the doctors fraternity which is being handled by the politicians.
We need to be good with them, sir.
Yes, sir. 100% yes, sir. Now, Dr. Shiv Prakash, sir, he would like to tell us the ground realities of being a rural surgeon in government setup, who is actually being very helpless with the government babus or the government agents who don't help them actually. Please, sir. Shiv Prakash, sir.
Thank you. Slide next. We government doctors, these are government surgeons, we are all engaged with 9 P's. Naturally, patients, public, you have to face all these things. Police, press people will come anytime, any mood. Okay. Then we should have patience. Politicians are the part and parcel of our government setup. Politeness is, they expect more politeness when compared to private doctors. And of course, POCSO. And POCSO, it's a common in Bhadravati, place like Bhadravati. And prosecution, you have to attend all medical legal cases in court of law. Next. The Taluk level hospital, there are some setbacks and there are deficiencies. All of us know that in Taluk hospital we have only one surgeon, no second opinion, lab surgeries, only laparoscopic sterilizations. Laparoscopic instruments are usually not available in Taluk hospitals. We do outside. Single anesthetist, that is also a problem. And under-equipped. OTs will have minimum facilities to give maximum service. Okay, limited investigation facilities. ICU will not be having SICU. No ventilator. We cannot expect those things in taluka level hospitals. And physician availability. If he is on night duty, next day will not be available. So opinion, it is very difficult sometimes. Some taluka hospital will not be having physician. It will be difficult for a rural surgeon, especially the government rural surgeon. No OT technician. We cannot expect those things in government setup. Only we train group Ts and they will act as the OT technicians. Next. Added tasks. Along with these things, we have to do lab sterilization. See, doing lab sterilization in our hospital is okay. We have to go 5-6 places for lab sterilization camps. No scalpel vasectomy. We have to again we'll go to other places to conduct no scalpel vasectomy camps. Postmortem. Postmortem is the biggest thing in the general hospital. While doing surgery, politician will call for emergency postmortem. So emergency postmortem, as if patient will get life again. The expectation is very high. Then court duty is common thing for us, and the patient will be waiting. We'll go to court. We'll start scolding in front of our OPD. And general duty. See, consultants are supposed to do general duties. 24 hours duty once in a week or twice in a week. Along with your surgical thing, you have to do other things also. Casualty, everything you have to look after. Then physical and online meetings will be there in government setup. We have to attend the meeting along with just finishing the surgery. You have to go and attend the physical meeting or online meetings. Administration, I am an administrator also in our hospital. So administrative, no water, no current, drainage is blocked. Everything we have to address. Otherwise, we'll get a phone call from higher officials or politicians. Higher officers may visit surprisingly without informing. We will be in OT. We have to adjust and cooperate for that also. Sometimes during surgery only they will come and visit me. They will directly come into the OT. These are the certain different problems we have in government hospitals. Next. This is we do laparoscopic surgery in government. We take 2 to 3 minutes. Hydraulic table specially made for laparoscopic sterilization. I'm going to put the inject local anesthesia, the level of umbilicus. I'm going to inject 5 cc of and local anesthesia. We do below the umbilicus. Fortunately, we have a hydraulic table. Local anesthesia is injected. We have a fixed table for this is hydraulic one. Procedure we can centimeter nick is given. Create pneumoperitoneum with the help of Iris needle. I'm going to introduce Iris needle and put carbon dioxide into the abdomen through insufflator. Autopsy? Autopsy? We don't have a monitor. We look to the we don't have monitors. We have to stand kyphospholiotic position and
Sir, you mute your video.
Make it fast. Make it fast. Hello. Okay. We take 2 to 3 minutes for lab sterilization. without monitor in kyphoscoliotic position. Now the things are limited. Previously, we used to do up to 100 cases also, 60, 50. Now they have limited to 30 cases to give the quality service. Okay. So all after seeing all 9 P's, only 2 P's we have positive. Will get popularity and publicity in short period. If you do good service and government setup. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for briefing us the difficulties of facing in government setups also.
Thank you, all the speakers. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think today we all learned a lot, understood a lot, and also how excellent work and publishing also can be done by the rural area and rural surgeons. I'm sure they are, as Dr. Prabhu said, rural surgery itself is a specialty. I don't know why the textbooks are not writing about rural surgery and teaching in the postgraduate setup also. I think that should be done. Rural surgery should be included in the textbooks, both undergraduate and postgraduate books. Dr. Rajan, your comments?
This is one of the most entertaining as well as enlightening evenings I've had. I really compliment my rural surgical colleagues for the excellent work they're doing. Please come out and tell us. We are all in one cloud thinking that rural areas are deficient in surgery. Most of the surgeries described are much better being done at your setup than in our so-called high-end setups. So I'm very proud of my rural surgical colleagues, and I want more. I want more to be explored and shown to us. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Dr. Abhay Dalvi, sir, past president ASI, thank you for attending. You have any comments? Thank you very much, sir. You always attend our meetings.
I've always been there with Karnataka. I can only say 2 things. Dr. Udwadia, whom we lost in January 2023, was a pioneer in setting up rural surgery. Unfortunately, there have been division between rural surgery, but let's not get into it. But I can only say that the people with, in inverted commas, disabilities, not having anesthetists, not having infrastructure, are still doing a human job. I believe government is working into it, but I don't want to comment on it at all. I want to comment only on Karnataka. Shivram, you have got into the right spirit of going into interiors and focusing what people are doing. Today's speakers have come out voluminously into doing a good service to the rural population. And I congratulate you and your team to have brought out this aspect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. GB Bidinal, you have logged in. Thank you very much. Any comments, sir? Can you unmute? Can you unmute, please? Sir. Unmute.
Excellent speech by all speakers. Really very informative speech, and especially rural surgery, because I was also a rural surgeon initially. I attended PSCs. I did surgery in PSC. I alone used to do spinal anesthesia and do hysterectomy, appendicectomy, and prostatectomy. Many surgeries I have done as a rural surgeon also initially. Now I am settled in Gadag, which is all equipments are there in Gadag. It's really all speakers are excellently they are given the yes, very nice. Congratulations to all speakers, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sivaram.
Thank you, sir. Dr. R.D. Prabhu, sir, you are the giant of a rural surgeon. Known
Don't say that.
nationally,
Don't say that.
internationally, and
No.
everywhere you have guided us. And
No.
we are very, very proud of you and honored that you gave a talk and also sat through the entire meeting. Any comments from you, sir?
The only thing is, just as you said and as somebody else said, we need to have rural surgery come to the main line into the textbooks, and somebody should take over some sort of a training program for these youngsters who struggle so much, as you had heard, in all aspects of rural surgery. I think that would improve the rural surgical healthcare of the Karnataka, and I'm sure the state chapter will get a little more credit.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, your stress and importance of rural surgery in the initial stages brought you the best chapter award for the chapter from the ASI. I'm sure of it because I heard it from Rangabasham himself. So I think we should continue on that. Thank you very much.
That's why we are doing this webinar, sir.
I hope you
best.
continue doing that. Very good. I congratulate you, Dr. Shivaram, and I hope you pursue that.
Thank you. Dr. Hebsur, Chairman-elect.
Sir, it was excellent by everyone. More than that, doing everything without having anything is the best part for rural surgeons. You know, everybody cannot do it, and they are real surgeons who are working in a very compromised environment, which they themselves know that rather than we talk about it. And all of them have been excelling in all the ways. We are really quite small people compared to all those people who are doing such excellent work. I congratulate them. It was excellent work by all of them. Everybody has expressed very well. And thanks to Dr. Shivaram who have really brought out the gems of Surgical Society to the limelight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I must congratulate Dr. Shivprakash DS and Dr. Basvesh Patil. They have done excellent work, lot of hard work. Many of you may not realize how much we work behind the scenes. Yesterday, we did a trial run also. And all these programs are so successful because of the involvement of the KSA, ASI, EC members. I congratulate all of them, and especially Dr. Basvesh Patil and Shivprakash for their moderation today. Thank you all. Dr. Chandrasekhar.
Yes,
Shivaram, can I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. Who is speaking?
Yeah, Ishwar, sir, please.
Yes. Please.
I must congratulate and appreciate the KSASI having organized such excellent programs. Then all these speakers have spoken very well. In spite of all the limitations in the rural setup, they are doing excellent work. Almost I could say in par with any urban or medical college areas, whatever work they are doing it. They are nowadays the credit goes to the infrastructures and equipments. It could reach to any remote places of the any town or any taluk headquarters. But main limitations is the manpower. Everybody has developed their own team and they are doing an excellent work. And I congratulate all the speakers who are doing really good work, especially Dr. Naz and Dr. Srikanth, then Madhusudan, then many other rural surgeons that are doing very good work. Once again, I congratulate them and wish them good luck for the better work.
Thank you, Dr. Ishwar. Dr. Chandrasekhar, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, sir. Before I conclude, two things I want to say. One is we have restarted the traveling fellowship for the rural surgeons. I request all of you, you have anybody in your mind, please suggest us, send their name, and they can select their own center of excellence so they can go stay there and get trained. And KCSI is there to help financially. That is one. We need definitely you people's help to get the people to come forward. And one more thing is, I just want to show this. Dr. R.D. Prabhu has written a book on my adventures on rural surgery. It's an excellent. Please read and go through this because I have read half of this. It's really an excellent experience what he has written. It's really a very nice book. And I should, from KCSI, behalf of KCSI, I should thank all the speakers, 12 speakers who spoke excellent on their problems and the innovations they have found out to overcome those. And I thank all the members of KCI, EC members, national EC members, and Abhay Delvi sir who attended this webinar. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
I think, Chandrasekhar, now we have to send urban surgeons to rural area for fellowship.
Yes, sir, definitely. Definitely, sir.
That is required. Thank you all. And, good night.
Permission, Suprakash.
Yeah.
Suprakash.
Don't forget to celebrate Surgeons Day on 25th June.
Yes.
Please motivate all.
Excellent message, Shivkumar.
One more webinar we have on 8th of June, that is Journal Club. So I thought I'll announce on that day. We have a Journal Club moderated by Dr. Kalavani Madam. One of our postgraduate is going to present the journal. So I request every one of you to join back. I'll send the flyer and the link very shortly.
We request all the faculty to get their PGs enrolled in this, Dr. Chandrasekhar, please.
Yes, madam.
Yes, it's mainly targeted to the PGs, and of course for the faculty also could attend, but mainly PGs if they join would be good.
Yeah, Abhay Delvi sir has raised his hand.
So I possibly am coming for HPBA conference to Bangalore, and if I can meet Dr. Prabhu, I will be highly obliged.
Yes, sir. He is at Shomaga, sir. If he is in Bangalore, definitely.
Sorry, my traveling has been curtailed by a cardiologist, so I am stuck in Shimoga. If anybody is coming on Shimoga side, I'll be very happy to host him, not just meet him.
Sir, I will try my best, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Jagannath sir has raised his hand.
What is your name? What is your name? I'm sorry, I didn't get the name.
Abhay Delvi, sir.
Sir, I am Dr. Abhay Delvi from GSMC KEM Hospital, ex-professor at 21 in 21.
We had a Dalvi in our class.
I should not.
54.
I should not be saying, but I have been the past president of ASI and ardent follower of the Karnataka State Chapter, bestowed with Rao Varesh.
When will you be in Bangalore? The date?
Sir, I think HPBA is sometime in June or July. I'll get back to you, sir. Through Dr. Shivram, I'll get back to you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Dalvi.
Thank you, sir.
Dr.
Shivram sir and Chandru, kindly announce about Bitcoin so that everybody comes forward.
Yes, sir.
Kalavani Madam, Bitcoin.
Yes. Yeah, we request everyone to first register for the MidCon and encourage. I request all of you to encourage your PGs to register and send the abstracts well on time. The last date for abstract submission is June 15.
Thank you.
June
Dr.
15.
July. Anything? We can't hear you. Mute.
Yeah. No. So it is a really excellent, Dr. Shivram and your team, and it is really, mind-blowing, experience. I think parallelly we need to have some of the surgeons who have moved from the rural side and settled in urban side. And we are repenting that, we are become a small fish in a big ocean, and we were doing excellent work and in the rural area. I'm the best example for that. Being a super specialist oncosurgeon, we were doing more excellent work in rural area. Even Dr. Prabhu has supported me way back about 20 years back when I was in Shumaga, and I worked with him and operated few cases. I think this really indicates that, all surgeons should not have to move from rural to urban area. It is a reverse. I think from urban to rural, we have to reach the mass. That is the message. That now the technologies are coming up in many places. I think it is the right direction to involve a lot of our young surgeons to stay back in rural areas and start practicing the oncosurgery. That's my message.
I am one among the surgeons who have relocated from urban. I was working at Bangalore Fortis for 5 years. Then I have relocated back to my hometown to just serve the needy.
Right. Thank you all. Thank you very much for participation. We'll see you again in the next meeting. Good night to you all, and thank you very much for participation. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Good night.
Martin, you can stop recording.